So if it isn't Kyrie Irving back in the basketball news scene once again, it wouldn't be right if we didn't have an offseason where Kyrie Irving was involved in something. Because now he is, back at it again, and Shams came out with a report earlier Monday morning talking about basically how Kyrie Irving might be out of Brooklyn if they don't give him what he wants. That's basically what the whole gist of the whole situation was. And I would assume it's only right for me to voice my opinion on the situation because not too long ago, basically you could say a month ago, I made a video on this exact situation talking about how if I was the Brooklyn Nets, if I was Sean Marks, who's the GM, I would not give Kyrie Irving a lengthy contract extension, but I would give him max dollars to stay because of the talent that he is. But with this recent news coming out, this is a very tricky situation because if you're the Brooklyn Nets, think back to 2019. You originally signed Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, who were the prized possessions in that offseason outside of Kawhi Leonard. Those two guys, they were the duo, they were the packaged goods together. You signed them, you were set to be a title contender for at least the next 5 years, right? Wrong. So far, yes, they've been one of the best duos in the league. That's obvious. But they haven't won anything. And to be honest, they haven't even came close. Their best success was that 2021 season when they lost to the Bucks in Game 7. To be fair, I do think if they would have stayed healthy, Kyrie Irving in particular, they probably would have went on to win that series and probably would have had the best chance to win it all. But that didn't happen. Injuries happen. Can't change what happens in the past. So, it's been a disappointment, you would say, right? Now think about this. If you lose Kyrie Irving in free agency, that would just be painful if you're the Nets organization. And if you did lose him, who is going to replace him and have that impact to keep the Nets as a title contending team next season? Who? Nobody, because there is no point guard that's on his level that's available. Damian Lillard ain't, and he is the closest guy you would say to availability-wise, trade-wise, that you can get. But that's not happening because he wants to stay loyal to Portland and Portland wants to stay loyal to him. So you cross that out. Russell Westbrook ain't on Kyrie Irving's level. So there's nobody that can fill that spot and produce the way he produces. And that automatically, in my opinion, drops the Nets from a title contender with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant to basically, at best, I think the fifth best team in the Eastern Conference. That's what I think they are without Kyrie Irving and just Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons, and then you throw in whoever you want to throw in there at point guard. Then as for Kyrie, the teams that he said he would prefer to go to, quote unquote, I guess, are the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Knicks. Those are the three potential destinations. To be honest, I think he's using these destinations as leverage because everybody does that. Look at all the recent off seasons. Especially 2019. They basically did it that season as well. So let's look at those destinations though. Let's just say Kyrie Irving is actually considering looking at these spots if he leaves. The Lakers make sense. You pair him up with LeBron again. Anthony Davis is probably on the team still. You got those three guys. Russell Westbrook's probably gone, I would assume. And they got championship aspirations even though they missed the playoffs last season because one, they're on LeBron's timeline. And two, Kyrie would fit much better with that team than Russell Westbrook did. They would just have to figure out all the other roster problems that they have. But with those three guys, I think they'd be competitive. The only problem is the team would probably never be healthy. So it's not a guarantee that they're going to make the playoffs with those three guys, even though I'd expect a higher ceiling out of that group than I would with Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and AD like they have now. Now let's look over Kyrie on the Clippers. That makes sense as well. With Kawhi and Paul George, I think it'd be certainly a big upgrade over Reggie Jackson. But like I mentioned earlier, injuries, once again, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, two guys that take games off for load management and also deal with injuries every single season. Then we look at the Knicks. The Knicks rumors, I don't believe it one bit. First of all, the Knicks timeline is young. I don't see them trying to go for win now guys, even though you've seen those Malcolm Brogdon and these other guy trade rumors. But I don't believe he'd want to go there. Why would Kyrie even want to go to the Knicks? Why? I mean, the roster is just not good enough yet. It wouldn't make sense. Not to mention, Kyrie already ditched the Knicks back in 2019, so why would he try to come to the team now when there's realistically no championship in sight for the franchise unless miracle scenarios start happening? So in reality, I think he's just really using this whole thing to get what he wants, and he's probably going to stay in Brooklyn for the long term. I think Brooklyn will surrender and give him what he wants. But make no mistake about it, I definitely think if Brooklyn doesn't care to up the offer on this contract when it comes to length, then there is that possibility that he ends up walking out the door and leaving Brooklyn, which would make KD and Kyrie one of the biggest what-if stories in NBA history. But keeping it real, if you're an NBA fan that loves getting into these rumors and off-season news like I do, and I think every other NBA fan does, I would say don't get your hopes up. I don't think Kyrie Irving's leaving. Just expect that they come to terms, him in Brooklyn, and that there's a new contract extension soon. Because it just makes more sense for him to stay rather than leaving for a new team and starting over. Anyways, that's going to do it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Link will be down in the description below. This has been a checkout where we talk hoops and hoops only. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.